Alright, so today I'm going to be working beginning at 9:40, and I have no idea when I'm going to end. But hopefully I'll be able to end around 4:40, so now I'll be able to get 7 hours. So yesterday I worked 6 hours. I worked from 10 to 4. Yeah, 6 hours. So hopefully I can keep up that same energy, and anything above 6 hours is going to be great. And I wrote down what I actually need the amount of hours I need to be able to do, and it needs to be around 27 and a half to be able to get over the 570. Actually, I have it written down on this sheet of paper. So you can probably barely make this out. But I need to be able to get 30 hours in order to get 570. And then after taxes, I don't know what that's going to be. But usually, Uncle Sam, they're going to get their 12% cut. So 1260, it's going to be like 510. It's going to be even less than that. So I probably really need to be able to get 32 and a half to really be able to make sure that I'm netting over $500 after taxes. So today was a pretty good day while at work. Thankfully, I was able to work out. Then took a shower. Actually, I worked out, took a sauna, went to the sauna, and then took a shower. And usually I don't have enough time to be able to take a shower before I even go to work. So that was really a blessing in disguise that I was able to do so. So I got to the gym around like 5:30, worked out for like an hour, got out around 6:45, and then I went down and took a shower after I went to the sauna, which I was in the sauna for about 15 minutes or so. Once I get to the point to where I get hot, and then I stop feeling like I'm continuously getting hotter and hotter, and I'm just sweating profusely. After around like 5 minutes, I just go ahead and get on out. So that's my stopping point. It's a little bit different than when I was in college, but feel good nonetheless to be able to open up my pores and go from there. So on today, I am going in at 9:40. I'm going to meet my Jesus. That was slow down. All right, so I'm going to meet my manager on tonight at 9:40. He or she is going. I want to meet her, but somebody else is going to more than likely going to pick me up. Usually, the head manager is going to pick you up. So I'm looking forward to tonight. I'm looking forward to the opportunities to be able to learn. I'm not looking forward to the weather. However, because of the weather, it'll give me an opportunity to be able to stay there longer, to be able to get more hours. So we'll see what this is going to look like with the weather. I guess it's a blessing in disguise that I'm able to see what everything is going to be like in the rain, because this is like the worst day that it's going to be. I know exactly what to expect from here on out. I did bring the book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza. This is my #1 book that I've ever read. It's right here, upside down now. But hopefully I'll be able to read a little bit of this book while I am waiting for the different planes to be able to come in and out. But we will see. Usually it's pretty chill. It's been a while since I've been trained, so usually they have me shadow somebody, and then that person just walks me through the hoops of everything that I need to do, and I'm basically just shadowing them. So it should be pretty self-explanatory. Today I may not have as much personal time to be able to read, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be downtime, so I'll be able to do different things. So looking forward to it. Looking forward to getting this bonus money. Thankfully today at work was not too strenuous at all. Well child came in again, and thankfully the morning time is reserved for like the 6th grade students. So as a result, I I didn't have anybody to teach. So I just covered one of the classes for like the 6th grade teachers that actually went down to the gym as soon as she came into work, because I didn't even know that they were down there, and I was covering their class because we just didn't know. We just didn't know anything at all. So the important thing about communication is vital, because the entire time that I'm sitting with the class, I could have helped them out by bringing their class down to help them be able to go to continue and get done with their well child and getting their physicals done. But without me knowing, I had no idea, and I'm just lost in the sauce. And I took over it was actually a sub that I covered for, because the actual teacher was gone for the day. So when I got to the room, I was just covering, just making sure like the kids were attending. We were actually in the hallway for a good 10 minutes. Then the assistant principal came and let us into the room. And apparently, she didn't know that who was going on today either. Otherwise, she would have told us to go down to the gym in order to go to the physical.
Power on. Connecting. Connected.
Alright, what's going on? I am Michael QLAU, and welcome to a rainy episode, or a rainy edition, or a rainy episode of Teachers After Dark. So as you see, it is raining. It is raining. It is raining. And it's going to be raining all day tonight. All night. It is going to be raining. So it is 8:40. Actually, it's 9:01. Shelby Drive. Look alive. Look alive. Came up from the other side. So we're going to be putting in some work at night on tonight. No days off. And yes, I am working outside. So it's going to be a rainy day. I will be wet. Get on the rainy gear from head to toe. Better go out in here like a pro. But it's all good. Told you it was 9:01. So it's all a learning lesson, and so had there been effective communication, I would be able to bring down the kids, keep them all down there together. And then there would have been basically just being able to stay together throughout from beginning to end. And then I would have been able to cover later on, just to make, I would have minded covering their entire class in PE. But because I had already covered them for like the past like 30 minutes while they were doing well child, I didn't feel like really just covering them during the entire PE time. So by the time the class came back from the well child, she went down, she came and pretty much told them to go ahead and go down to the gym. And there was like 6 students to be able to do their physicals and everything of that nature. And when I say it is raining outside, it is really raining outside. I'm about to flip this camera around so y'all can see what it looks like. Hopefully you can see what it looks like, but this is a whole lot of rain. When I say a whole lot, I really mean a whole lot. So all of that is going on tonight. that badge on them.
Power on. Connecting.
Alright, what's up? This is Michael QLAU, and I was doing a recap of my first day on the job, actually being on and off of the planes, unloading for the most part, and loading up. So it rained pretty much the entire time, except for like the last 2 hours. So because it was raining, pretty hard. So I met my manager. She was pretty cool. The team was really cool. So I'm expecting this to go pretty well, really well actually. The team was fairly young. I want to say like the most experienced one or the most responsible one was there for like 3 months, not including like the team lead. The team lead may have been there for like a year or so, based on, I need to ask her how long she's been there. But as you see, it is in the afternoon. Somehow, I guess I left my camera on my phone, so my phone died, so that's why you're not getting it from when I actually get off work. So I actually get off work at like 5:30 in the morning, which left me with only about like 45 minutes to be able to get some sleep, wake up, eat a little bit. Well, actually I took a protein shake and then I went straight to work. Got to work, I was still a little bit tired, so instead of monitoring the hallways like my morning duty is assigned to do, I went and took a nap behind the stage because I could have walked all the way back to the gym, but that would have taken about like 3 minutes. So 3 minutes going there and back, I decided I would just use that in order to go to sleep. So went behind the stage, went to sleep for about 36 minutes. I know because I timed it, because I put it on my timer, and I woke up more refreshed than I previously was. So the day went fairly smoothly. I took another nap in the afternoon because your boy is tired, especially after working seven and a half hours after taking only like a 30-minute nap on yesterday. So today, when I get home, I am definitely going to, first thing that I'm going to do is go ahead and I'm going to eat breakfast, or breakfast food I should say. I'm going to eat eggs and some toast, and while I am eating, I'm going to go ahead and pack up my lunch. So then when I wake up in the morning, or when I get home from the morning, the only thing that I have to do is take a shower and go to sleep. And then when I get up, I can dedicate some more time to either sleeping or actually going to, not going to the gym, but doing some work that I need to do before I get to work. So it's a learning lesson. You know, with every lesson, there's a blessing. So you gotta look for the blessings in disguise. So it's all about just being more intentional with your intentions, and then spreading your energy to the different things that you need to do, so then you can have higher focus. Because with focus, you need to be able to have intention and energy directed at the certain path that you are going. Without that focus, you never really know where you're going, and instead of focusing like a laser beam, you're gonna focus like a flashlight. You're gonna shine your light on everything, but you're not gonna be as forceful as a laser beam is going to be. So you can be dual like a light bulb, or you can be dual and widespread like a flashlight, or you can be powerful and focused like a laser. So just going in with the laser-like focus, while I was at work, I sent my wife, it was a pretty hefty text message explaining like everything that I intend to do working through FedEx with getting out of debt. She didn't reply back, so either she didn't, or she got it because I sent it early enough, but she just didn't reply, more likely because she has other priorities that she needs to do with work. So that'll be one of the discussions that we'll have when we get back home. And that's the one thing that I love about my relationship, is that we don't hold anything over the head of the other person. When they see it, if they respond respond, they respond. If they don't respond or they don't read it, we don't put it over there what the person said, because we know that text messaging is not when communicating isn't necessarily our strongest point. And instead of harping on it, we just relax and let go. And then when we come together, we work on strengthening that bond through communication. So communication is one of the building blocks of intimacy. And without intimacy, your relationship is going to continue to deteriorate. So it's always very important to be able to communicate, and more important than the most important part of communication is understanding the other person, understanding what they say, understanding their intentions and what they meant. Because if you take everything that they say per word or per what they say, you can miss out on a lot that they meant to give to you. So instead of inferring, there's a word. Instead of misinterpreting from your perspective, infer from what they're saying. So then you can give them the benefit of the doubt. Because if you don't give them the benefit of the doubt, the only thing that you have left is doubt. And doubt on any level is never good. If you doubt that you can't do something, it's going to lead you to a negative outcome. It's going to lead you to the outcome that you gave it, which is the doubt. So it's best to communicate. It's best to go in with the expectation that somebody has your best intention at heart. And if they show you otherwise, then begin to put that in the back of your head, so then when they act a certain way, you know how to respond. That's just going to be just a way that you're able to, number one, protect yourself, and then number two, give opportunities for people to change. And by doing that, you'll be able to continue to be in the growth mindset instead of a fixed mindset. And a fixed mindset is when things never change. Like, things are always going to be like this. Things are happening outside of yourself, whereas limited, fixed, whereas a growth mindset, forgot the two mindsets that I said. So the difference between a fixed and a growth mindset, a growth is always growing and adapting. It's always looking to improve. It's always looking to find different solutions. And the key is finding different solutions. If it's fixed, you're not focusing on the solution, you're focused on the problem. And the only way that you can solve the problem is by asking many questions, or asking the right questions. And the questions that you ask are the solutions that you'll receive. So it's all about asking better questions. Most times when people complain, it's all about pointing at the problem instead of looking at it and asking the question, why did this happen? Because the why did it happen is going to open up a rabbit hole that you can then enter and be able to navigate through the maze, to be able to come out through the other side like Alice in Wonderland, to understand and really have a comprehensive look through the matrix that you're going through. So it's all about having understanding. Actually, number one, it's all about being aware. And being aware is just realizing that things aren't the way that you want them to be. Then number two, you're going to build understanding. Understanding is going to pique your curiosity. And when you're curious, this is like the 5-year-old. This is like the curiosity of a 5-year-old. They're always asking why. And when you lead with this curiosity and this energy, it's going to lead you towards the answer. And if the answer is different than what you've experienced in the past, you have to be able to disassociate from the things that you knew from the past. So then you'll be able to move forward and associate and attach to the different things that you're looking for. So you want to be able to build awareness. You want to be able to build awareness, understanding, disassociate if that's what's needed, and then associate. And when you disassociate, there's going to be that cognitive dissonance to where you realize that what you knew isn't what's going to push you forward. And sometimes you have to be able to unlearn what you know and relearn something new, so then you can grow into you. Or drop it. Alright, but that's what I really wanted to say. It's all about just having like that growth, the whole growth mindset. So you're able to really be able to grow and not stay trapped and uncap your potential. There was something else that I was about to say about like the growth mindset, or like the disassociate to and then into the association. So when you disassociate, there's different things that we're taught or that we believe throughout life to a certain point. And from what I'm reading from like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, one of the biggest things that I'm realizing is that a lot of things that I thought were assets are really liabilities. And that's because what I thought was an asset really wasn't an asset. So to me, growing up, I thought an asset was something that is beneficial towards you, and the liabilities are different things that harm you. Now this is true. This still remains true. So you don't have to disassociate completely. You can assimilate, or you can, in this case, you're going to accommodate. So I still believe that liability is something that takes away from where you ultimately want to go, and an asset allows you to go to the place that you want to be able to go. But a true asset that you spend money on when it comes to finances, an asset is going to be something that generates money, whether it's stocks, bonds, IRA, 401k, or like a high in demand skill. You know, education on fire beats information on ice. So it's all about applying the different information. It's all about applying what you know, so that you can grow. Because if you never apply the strike to the matchbox, it will never catch fire. So you always have to be able to have the right resources and actually be able to use them. And it's only through execution that you're going to strike that flame. So that's always very important, is making sure that you're always learning and executing. So always be learning. So always be executing and learning. That's what you always want to be able to do. You always want to be about doing something, executing on something, and learning. And when you learn, you're going to be able to adapt through the different situations, because you're going to assess what you've done in order to grow. So going back to like the assets and liabilities, I realized that an asset is something that's going to bring you money. And what the rich do is they put their money towards assets first, so then it can pay off their liabilities. So when you see like the cash flow quadrants, you're going to see it go through the assets class first. The asset class is then going to pay off their monthly bills, their expenses, and then any debts that they're having. And in doing so, the more assets that they have, the more money they have, they're going to be able to generate more income as a result. And that's going to be able to increase their wealth. So it's all about increasing your assets and minimizing your liabilities. And what's great is if you keep the cash flow flowing into the assets quadrants, those assets over time are going to incrementally go up and up and up. And even if your expenses remain the same, the divide between the assets and liabilities are going to grow more and more. Versus if you spend your money on liabilities, which a liability are things that take away from your income. So these are going to be like houses, mortgages, rent, anything that you're spending your money on is going to be a liability. Things that don't bring you a return on investment or ROI are considered liabilities. So the more that you're spending on income, what's going to happen, and as it does in human nature, as your income increases, your spending increases as a byproduct. And as a result, the gap between the income and expenses stays relatively the same. Because as one goes up, the other one goes up. But you want to be able to have the inverse effect to where as your income goes up, your expenses go down as a ratio. So that's one of the biggest things that I'm learning. And this goes back to what I was sending my wife about the reasons what I'm expecting to do as a result of working this. And it's really being able to get out of debt and really being able to, just be more financially free as a result by putting in all the time and the effort, sweat equity, so then we can have a better reality. All right, you see my camera was kind of shifting down a little bit. It's one of the beautiful things about these Apple Watches, man. You just got the Apple Watch, you can see me seeing you, you seeing me see you. You can just be seen. But that's my experience on last night. Because it was raining, I only read like a paragraph of Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. But I believe that's going to be the only book that I will bring to I will actually put it in a sandwich bag so then it doesn't get wet by chance, because it did get a little bit damp on yesterday. But that's really what I get. I forgot to let y'all know that I did get off of work from being a PE teacher, so I'm just driving home. We had a faculty meeting. It was about 30 minutes or so. Quicker meeting than the ones that I've had in the past. Some I've had in the past, they've lasted for like an hour. The treacherous ones, an hour and a half. But I'm about to go home, eat. I would take a shower, but I'm gonna wait till to take a shower in the morning time when I get off of work. I'm gonna pack my lunch, and I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm not gonna worry about doing a reel on today. Usually I do a reel every single day. I'm going to do a reel on tomorrow while I'm at work and I have enough energy. And then I need to make sure that I complete this. I'm going to make sure that I complete this article that I have coming up and be able to go from there. So then it can come out onto this article. And you probably heard somebody honk their horn. So, people wait in like the left lane to make like a left turn. So I was about to move into the right lane, but somebody from the right, all the way from I was gonna move into the middle lane, but then somebody from the far right lane decided to switch lanes and go in the middle lane. So hence they honk that horn, because they going full throttle. But you always have to be a defensive driver, because if you are not a defensive driver, you can easily get into an accident. And this is actually like one of the stories that I told like one of my kids. There was a wreck that happened right at the school before the start of the school day, and he was saying that couldn't be me. The kid. Sometimes like the kids say, that was me. X, Y, and Z. Just be out. Most of the times they do that just to really hype up their other students and counterparts, so then they do something that they have no business doing. But that's beyond the point. But actually that is the point. But in this book, there's a character, I forgot the name of the character, but it's in The Great Gatsby. There's a character who says that as long as wrecks only happen because there's two careless drivers. And when I read that, I was like, man, so she just doesn't want to take any responsibility for her actions. She just wants to live a life that's based on the way that other people are maneuvering around life. And if she finds somebody else that's equally as aloof as her, then there's going to be an issue. And there was, because she did end up getting into a wreck. And those type of people, they never find blame or find fault within themselves. They always look outside of themselves, and they always blame every situation, everything that's external, as a result of things that they believe on the internal. And things that you believe on the internal are going to manifest on the outside. So believing that, you know, you can be careless and nothing will, and things will only happen when there's somebody else that's equally as careless or more careless, that's going to manifest, and you actually get into an accident. So one of the things that I always do and pride myself on doing is being a defensive driver, and being able to have a high level of emotional intelligence to know what somebody else may do or is planning to do, and be able to, you know, play defense based on that. So then if I'm in a situation to where I could get into, I don't want to say get into a car accident, but moving to like the same lines, or, you know, just moving through traffic, or moving through, you know, the environment with other people, it's always best to, you know what's going on around you, so then you can react or respond appropriately. And when you do that, less things are bound to happen, because you have a high level of empathy and sympathy for other people, so then you can make a better response. And that's what it's really all about when it's having like a growth mindset, and having like a mindset that allows you to take responsibility. And by you taking responsibility and ownership of the different things that you're doing, you're going to be able to have more control in your life. And that's some of the things that I was kind of talking about in the text message that I was sending my wife on this morning. So thankfully she is at home right now. I'm gonna go ahead and eat, get some sleep. She's probably doing some work right now. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get off right here. But always take responsibility and accountability for the different things that you are doing. Even if at first it seems like it's not your fault, at the end of the day, everything really does come back to you, whether you believe it's your fault or not. Because everything that you are seeing around you is a result of everything that you've been thinking and feeling. And one of the best things that you can do is just to stop complaining. Because when you stop complaining, you start looking for solutions to be able to change the outcomes that you're currently in. And by changing the outcomes of what you're currently in, you're going to change the input, so then you can have a greater output. And the greater input that you have, the greater force that you can put on the world around you. So then you can have more of what you actually want instead of what you don't want. There's a really good quote that says, a person that says that they can and the person that says they can't are both correct. So if you say that you can't have something, you can't have it. If you say that you will have something, you will have it. So it's all about changing the input. It's changing your beliefs. It's changing the messages that you receive, so then you can change the messages that you put out into the world and be able to have more as a result. So thank y'all for tapping in, never tapping out. Again, I am Michael QLAU. Thank you for tuning in to Teachers After Dark as I'm going on this journey to be able to reduce my debt. And I actually did do some calculations, and hopefully and thankfully I will be able to work going in early on my winter breaks that starts on next week. Thankfully the people, they actually go in around like 5 or 6 o'clock, and then they get out around like 4 o'clock. So if I'm able to work like from 5 to 4, that's easily 11 hours. Yeah, and then if I work going in 6, that would just be like 10 hours. But then if I can get work until 5 like I did on that other night, that's just going to be able to boost another hour. So either 12 or 11 hours, Monday through Friday. And then hopefully I'll be able to pick up a Saturday and a Sunday shift some kind of way. But I'll need my badge. So hopefully I get my badge by this Thursday, so then I can go on the network in order to go ahead and apply for some different jobs that I can do. As always, y'all stay fearfully fit and fearfully blessed. And when I come back on, I'll tell you more about the procedures that we actually go through for being on like the flight crew As always, y'all stay fearfully fit and fearfully blessed. And if you enjoyed this, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. And then hit that notification bell so then you can get all notifications that are coming out. All right, until next time, y'all be easy.